What's in store for the visual side of food in 2024? Well, I've been chatting with loads of chefs on my Food Envy podcast, and I think I've managed to zero in on some trends and plating styles that are coming off the pass this coming year. Whether you're a pro in the kitchen, dining out, or cooking up something special at home, these trends could provide you with some inspiration to create visually stunning dishes. So in this video, we'll explore some of the trends I see being impactful this year. Plus, I'm even going to throw in a couple of extra ones at the end, specifically about imagery. As a pro food photographer, this is super important to me, but for chefs and cooks and content creators, to have an idea of what's popular in photography will trickle down into print, advertising and social media. So it could influence how you plate your creations. If you've got any trends to add that you think might be hot in 2024, then I'd love to hear about those in the comments below. As we explore some of the 2024 plating trends, let's immerse ourselves in the serene world of Nordic simplicity. This trend is a nod to the understated elegance and minimalism that Scandinavian cuisine is renowned for. It's about capturing the essence of nature on a plate, using ingredients in their natural form. The inception of this new Nordic cuisine can be traced back to 2004, led by Nordic chefs Rennie Redzepi and Klaus Meyer from the newly opened Noma. They wanted to highlight purity, simplicity and seasonal ingredients from the unique produce of their region. This is now spread across the culinary world, including to the UK, where restaurants such as Anglo in London have taken this format and applied it to British ingredients and influences. I'll be speaking with Anglo's head chef Anthony Raffo in an upcoming podcast episode, so I'll link to it here or in the description once it's recorded. The Nordic influence in plating is deeply connected to foraging. It's about sourcing ingredients that are fresh and as local as possible, and presenting them in a way that reflects their inherent beauty. This style celebrates the purity of flavours and the simplicity of forms found in nature. Visual examples of Nordic simplicity in plating are both soothing and striking. The colours are natural and the presentation's unpretentious, and the overall effect is one of elegant tranquility. When it comes to styling these dishes though, the key is the minimalistic approach. This trend shies away from the complex and the ornate, focusing instead on the beauty of simplicity. Ingredients are often presented in their original form, with little to no manipulation. The shapes are organic, with a preference for soft curves rather than harsh angles. It's about letting the natural textures and colours of the ingredients speak for themselves. In the UK, foraging has become more exciting and an extension of the farm-to-table ethos, and we now expect to see chefs elevate lesser celebrated finds, including things like pine. The needles are actually being given a starring role on the menus of chefs like Jackson Boxer. He pairs his with a beeswax ice cream. Harriet Mansell and Cal Byerly, who actually named his Northumberland restaurant Pine after it. It's about minimalism meeting the wilderness, where natural imperfect shapes and textures of foraged ingredients take centre stage. This trend is all about embracing the primal allure of open fire cooking and its impact on the visual aspects of our dishes. It's a method that's ancient yet ever evolving, inspiring chefs like James Peck from a recent podcast episode, which I'll link to at the end of this video, or Andrew Clark and Daniel Watkins' Acme Fire Cult, and Tom O'Parry's Basque Country meets Wales inspired mountain, are all mastering this fiery technique to create plates that are visually striking as they are delicious. Where this trend can go is really anyone's guess, but what really excites me is the visual theatre and anticipation it can build up. For example, check out Josh Nyland's dish of bergamot meringue tart, where he brands meringue with a red-hot coal of bitterchan, a Japanese type of charcoal. The charcoal leaves behind a beautiful, intricate pattern, adding a layer of dramatic visual appeal, and I would also imagine a wonderful smell. It's about harnessing the raw, untamed beauty of fire and translating it onto the plate. When it comes to styling these dishes, it can be about embracing the darker, smokier palette. We're seeing plates that capture the essence of fire-cooked dishes through their colour scheme and texture. Dark charred edges on a piece of meat, the deep browns and blacks of burnt crusts. These are the elements that are bringing charcoal trend to life on your plate. So, as you experiment with this trend, think about how the visual elements of charcoal cooking can be incorporated into your plating, whether it's a bold pattern of branded meringue or the rich, smoky hues of charred vegetables. Let the raw power of fire inspire your presentations. Stuck staring at a blank plate, wishing your dish looked as good as it tastes? Well, you're not alone. That's why I created a free Plate Like a Pro checklist to help you take your plating from plain to pro. Think of it as your secret weapon of dish design, perfect for both new recipes and revamping old favourites. No fancy skills or special equipment is needed, just this handy guide and a dash of creativity. Remember, presentation isn't just about aesthetics, though those Instagram-worthy pics are pretty fun. It's about enhancing the whole dining experience, turning a good meal into something truly memorable. And with this checklist, achieving that extra magic touch is easier than ever. So ditch the plate anxiety, and click on the link below to download your free Plate Like a Pro guide. Get ready to impress your guests, or even just yourself, with dishes that are as delicious as they are visually stunning. And a bonus point for sharing your own plating tips in the comments. Let's build a community of plating masters. Move over rainbow bowls and Instagrammable food art. 2024 is going to be serving up one of my favourite plating techniques using monochromatic colour, but you will have to ditch the mental image of black and white minimalism. I'm talking about bold, immersive experience where chefs wield a single colour like a painter, transforming plates into edible works of art. I recently made a video all about colour theory in plate design, which I'll link to in the description or at the end of this, where I go into much more detail. Monochromatic plating isn't about limitations, it's about possibilities. It's about pushing the boundaries of what we expect from food, both visually and in taste. But don't be fooled by its apparent simplicity. Achieving a monochrome plate that's as delightful to taste as it is to look at requires thoughtful balance and a lot of skill. It's about finding harmony between flavours and hue. This trend isn't just about aesthetics though. It's a celebration of seasonality and local ingredients. By drawing on the natural hues of fresh produce, chefs can tell a story about the land, the harvest, and the very essence of a dish, but achieving monochromatic harmony takes skill. It's a delicate dance between hues and tones. Chefs must master this style, using contrasting elements such as smooth gels against crunchy crumbs, or creamy emulsions against crunchy vegetables to add depth and to prevent the plate becoming one-dimensional. Just look at this pumpkin dessert. The use of different tones and hues of orange make the dish pop, but it's the use of different shapes and textures that really elevates its monochromatic goodness. The monochromatic trend itself extends beyond the plate. Tableware, linens, and even the surrounding decor can be chosen to echo the chosen colour, creating a truly immersive dining experience. Sure, some may find the stark simplicity of monochromatic plating a bit daunting, but for those confident enough to break away from the visual noise of modern food trends, it's a chance to connect with the essence of a dish, to appreciate the beauty of single colour pushed to its excessive limits. For me, it exudes confidence in the chef's ability in flavour and aesthetic, because sometimes the most stunning art lies in the simplest palette. It's time to forget your perfectly regimented quenelles and meticulously constructed towers. 2024 is throwing off the shackles of symmetrical plating and embracing the untamed beauty of freeform technique. This trend is all about liberating food from the constraints of geometric expectation, allowing it to flow, splatter and dance across the plate in a way that celebrates its natural artistry. Freeform plating isn't just about aesthetics though. It's a celebration of intentionality and improvisation, allowing chefs to express their creativity and showcase the inherent beauty of ingredients. Think of it as food jazz, where each element riffs off each other, creating a harmonious composition that's as unique as the chef who crafted it. But it's not just about throwing ingredients on a plate and hoping for the best. Freeform technique requires a mastery of texture and balance.
Then there are some very, very talented chefs that create fantastic, messy looking food.
Yes.
The trick for me is they've been doing it for a long time, and they understand how to draw your interest through colour, height.
Chefs must understand the rules in order to break them, how to play with contrasting elements to create depth and prevent the plate from becoming too chaotic. Some may find this lack of rigid structure in freeform plating unsettling, and I sometimes include myself in this, but through more exposure to technique, I'm starting to understand it a bit more. But for those willing to embrace the unexpected, it's a chance to experience food in a whole new way.
Massimo Bottura.
That was the gentleman.
Over in Italy. So I think the biggest thing that came from that was, oops, I dropped the lemon tart.
Yeah.
His sous chef was bringing the dish over to the pass and he dropped it and he was in bits. He was almost crying because he'd messed up the service.
Yeah.
And Massimo turned to him and said, "Do you know what? It's okay. I like it like this." And he was in shock because the chef was in disbelief.
Yeah.
But goes, okay. And a whole food style was born from that moment in time.
It's about letting go of preconceived notions and appreciating the beauty of the unplanned that emerges from a chef's playful interaction with ingredients. So the next time you sit down to a meal, be open to possibilities. Look beyond the predictable presentations and seek out the plates that sing with the wild energy of freeform technique. And now, as promised, here are some of my bonus thoughts on photographic and general visual trends for plating in 2024. Now, I'm a home cook, and by no means a particularly good one. My actual plating skills do leave a lot to be desired, but I do know a fair bit about photography and how to craft an engaging and beautiful image. And I think one of the biggest things we're going to see in 2024 is authenticity. We're going to see a greater demand for more authenticity in imagery. so therefore more authenticity on the plate as well, especially as AI-generated images become increasingly sophisticated and easy, plus free to obtain. A counter-trend is brewing. A hunger for the real, the raw, the authentic. People are becoming far more educated about imagery and know when an image is not real. They want to be confident that what they see online is actually what they'll get when they sit down to order it in the restaurant. And don't forget, we've seen something similar to this before. Remember the age of Photoshop perfection? Every bowl a glossy masterpiece, every bite a pixelated dream. And you know what? I've still never seen a Big Mac that looks like this in real life. Now we're drawn to the raw, unscripted charm of a meal that's been lovingly prepared, but not overly airbrushed. We want to see the glistening oil on a roasted chicken, the earthy veins of a fresh leaf of basil, the imperfections, that whisper of human touch. This is not a rejection of artistry, it's about honesty. In a world where AI can conjure any culinary mirage, diners crave authentic experiences. But let's not mistake real for messy. Authenticity isn't just about slapdash plating and blurry phone snaps. It's about capturing the essence of the culinary moment, the care poured into every ingredient. AI and Photoshop are not the only thing that is a danger to the homogenization of food imagery. The ubiquity of mobile phones has made it easier than ever to take photos of food, meaning that much of what we see looks the same. Even if you are not a photography expert, there is a reason why most non-professional smartphone images of plates of food are taken from above and from a distance. I can go into why this is in another video if you're interested. Let me know in the comments below. But this is where my next trend, macro photography, a fairly niche form of photography, comes into its own. Macro photography in food plating isn't just about taking a close look. It's about elevating the ordinary to the extraordinary. Close-up shots have an ability to transform the way we perceive a dish, highlighting textures, colours and details that might otherwise go unnoticed. It's about bringing the viewer into an intimate encounter with the food, so close they can almost taste it. And it's actually very hard to replicate on a smartphone, due to needing specific lenses and usually the addition of flash lighting to do it properly and the food justice. It's a celebration of the tactile sensory experience of food, a testament to the chef's craft, and a reminder that most captivating things in life often lie beyond filters and algorithms. Now, if you're feeling inspired and eager to put any of these 2024 trends into practice, there's an essential element that you need to include in your plating toolkit: composition. Imagine your dish adorned with the latest trends, yet lacking that final touch that elevates it from visually pleasing to truly captivating. Don't worry, improving your plate composition isn't as tricky as it seems. The video coming up now will be your guide to unlocking the secrets of balancing layouts, lines and shapes, scale, and even creating tension on the plate. Before you set off on your plating journey, ensure you have all the weapons in your plating arsenal. Click on that subscribe button and join me for the next video, where we'll be transforming those trend-inspired ideas into masterpieces of composition. Together, let's raise the bar of food presentation and create dishes that truly stand out. So until next time, keep creating dining fables worth telling.